This might get removed for low account karma. I don't care. I need to get this out of my head. And to warn you all, a few months ago, I found an archived forum through a Tor mirror. Mostly dead links, old files, weird diagrams. It read like a cross between a survivalist message board and a metaphysics cult. One thread was titled Source Location Youth Zone MNX Grid, posted by someone with a username that was just a string of numbers and slashes. It was about the Fountain of Youth, an actual place. The instructions were a mess, broken English, bad formatting, but one phrase came up over and over. It doesn't matter where you start. Walk due true north. Do not drift. If the needle drifts, you've already passed it. People in the thread argued about it. Some said true north meant geographic. Others said it was an induced flux in the Earth's magnetic field. Still others argued a cosmic north. One guy said you needed a special kind of compass that could attune to local fields. Someone else posted a dye schematic. No explanation. Just a blurry photo of what looked like a needle floating in oil with some kind of stone casing around it. Hematite, maybe. It was probably bullshit. But it hit something in me. I was in a weird place. Burned out, disconnected, jaded. The idea that there was a place, a zone you could walk into, and just be, and done. I couldn't let it go. I built the compass myself. I followed the diagram with materials I barely understood. A quartz vial, thickened solene, glycerin maybe. Hematite ring is the outer shell. The needle floated, suspended, and every time I set it down, it didn't just drift, it snapped into place. Like it knew where to point independent of where it was. I planned a solo trip into the northern Rockies. I packed light, mostly mres and some small non-perishables. I brought a tent, backup compass which I swore I wouldn't use, a journal, a flare gun, and a map just in case. My only rule, follow that compass. Exactly. No rerouting, no detours. Just walk where it pointed. The first week was peaceful. Cold, but manageable. Nights were long, and I could see every star. I slept in a bivy sack, kept my boots outside to avoid frost, and cooked with a tiny alcohol stove. Every morning, the compass needle would be waiting, pointing that same fixed direction like it never moved. It felt obedient, almost helpful. I walked maybe 10 to 12 miles a day. Sometimes I napped in the shade, stretched my legs. I made camp when the sky shifted violet. There were no markers, no signs of other hikers. It felt like I was being led, like something was unfolding just for me. Around day 11, I passed a rock shelf split down the middle, clean, vertical like a knife wound. I remember stopping there, eating a chicken and rice murray, writing in my log, staring out over a dry gulch. It felt important, so I marked it on my paper map. For days later, I passed it again. Same rock, same split. But this time, I was approaching from the opposite side. I checked the compass, still pointing north, still steady, but the angle felt wrong. Not broken, not reversed, just slightly off, like a half of a degree to the west. I told myself I must have looped accidentally. Terrain does that. Hills pull you off course. But something in me knew. I kept going. By day 17, I passed a stacked pile of stones I swore I built myself. Same pattern, same flat top where I delayed a ration to cool. But I didn't remember coming back this way, and the compass hadn't changed. Still forward, still locked in. That night, I made camp under a gnarled pine. I woke up once to pee and saw the compass needle twitch. Just once, like it was adjusting itself mid-dream. Day 19. I found an old fire pit with a burned can in the ashes. Same brand I'd eaten days before. I looked down and realized my boot prints were already in the soil. That was the moment I remembered the post. If the needle drifts, you've already passed it. I don't remember making the decision, but I started walking faster. Not toward anything, just away. My food was running low. My hands were shaking. I hadn't seen wildlife in days. Just the needle, pointing with more confidence than I had. By the time I reached a frozen stream I'd definitely crossed before, the compass had turned completely. Still locked on, but now pointing directly behind me. That was the worst part. Not that it was broken, but that I never noticed it change. I camped again, in the same spot where I'd found my own note in a plastic bag under a high-branched cedar. I don't remember leaving it. That night, I left the compass on a rock next to my bag. I swear I didn't sleep, but when I looked again, the needle was pointing at my chest. I stood up in a start, and the needle quivered in response. I made it out. Somehow, I followed the stars, the sun, anything but the compass. I don't remember hiking back, just blinking, and being on the edge of a ranger station with cracked lips and dirt in my teeth. I got home 3 days later. The compass is still in my apartment. I keep it on my desk. I've tried putting it in drawers, closets, boxes. It doesn't matter. When I take it out, it points at me every time. I've spun it, walked around the room, held it upside down. The needle always finds me. Sometimes it moves before I do. At first, I thought it was a trick of the gel, or magnetism, but I haven't been sleeping well. And when I do, I wake up feeling different. Not sick, just off. My handwriting is cleaner. My joints don't pop. I think my eyesight is better. But I forgot my sister's birthday. I always remembered her birthday. Yesterday I had a memory of my 3rd grade teacher, clear as day. I haven't thought about her in decades. But I called and remember my last job interview, or my apartment number. I used to crave simplicity. I used to want the freedom of childhood, the lack of stress, the quiet inside my own head. But that quiet is creeping in now, and it doesn't feel like peace. It feels like forgetting. I don't think I found the fountain. I think I passed it, and I think something followed me back. The compass isn't drifting anymore. I am, and I don't know how far I am going, or who I'll be when I get there.